Are you trying to convince yourself to stay at a toxic job? This is for Black women and toxic jobs. This is Dr. Kamani, licensed clinical psychologist, where I focus on helping as many Black women as I can to leave and heal from toxic jobs. So, in my message, in my videos, I am not trying to convince anyone. I want to be very clear about that. And that I am here to share information with you, talk about my healing journey, share about the healing journeys of other Black women who have left toxic jobs because I don't want you to feel like you're stuck. But again, these videos are to encourage self reflection, but I want to turn it back on you. I want to ask you, are you trying to convince yourself to stay at a toxic job? So this might look like, um, I know this job is toxic. I see all the writing on the wall. I see all these other things, but I'm just going to try to stick it out until next year or a few years from now until I retire. That's one. Number two, are you in a situation at a toxic job where you are starting to experience stress related symptoms physically and or psychologically? You're going to the doctor more often. Let's say your blood pressure is increasing, your blood sugar ratings are higher, you are having difficulty sleeping, you are sad most of the time, you are anxious and on edge. But you tell yourself, no, I'm gonna stay because I'm getting good benefits so that I get good medical treatment. I invite you to think about, what is that medical treatment for? Are you accessing the medical treatment more because of the stress experienced at the job? So that's another example of you trying to convince yourself. What about if you're in a situation where you're in a toxic job, but you say to yourself, it's a toxic job, but I'm going to just stay here for until my child graduates from high school or college or whatever it might be. I'm just going to stay because after they graduate, then I have freedom. Again, is that an example of you trying to convince yourself? So just wanted to just talk to you about this in terms of being honest with yourself. The first part, the first stage, or the first preparation, area of preparation in relation to getting ready to leave a toxic job is being aware. So you're making the unconscious conscious. You are connecting to how you're really feeling or thinking about a situation. So you're being honest with yourself. And when you start doing these, trying to convince yourself, these are mind games that you're playing on yourself. So you are actually playing yourself. So just think about, when you're in a toxic job, they're doing all this gaslighting of you. They're doing all these things to harm you. The unfortunate thing is that we may start internalizing these things in terms of us thinking about what we can or cannot do. And many times it's really influenced or informed by fear. So the fear of, I cannot leave because I have responsibilities. I cannot leave because I'm a single parent. I cannot leave because the market is bad. I won't be able to get another job. I cannot leave because I'm not going to be able to find another job that pays as much or has the benefits that this one does. Um, I can't leave because I'm so used to this job. It's like it doesn't really take that much effort. Um, I can't leave. So do you see what I'm saying, right? So you go through all of these things when you're trying to convince yourself. Yet, when you sit and think about and you self reflect, again, these videos are for self reflection. I'm not trying to convince you, I'm just trying to encourage you to self reflect. So, as you self reflect, you may recognize for yourself that you are trying to convince yourself to stay in a toxic job that is harming you. So, again, when I say toxic, toxic is a poison. So, toxicity looks different for everybody, but for you, you know when that poison has got into your system because it may influence how you see yourself, how you see other people, how you interact with other people, how you view in terms of your future, or not really having a sense of confidence that you can go somewhere else, or believing that there are no options for you. So all of those are fear-based responses. So it's important to acknowledge what that is so that you can start doing things to walk through the fear. So when I talk about walk through the fear, I don't want to scare you, but I do want to be honest with you. So real talk, there is often a lot of fear in relation to leaving a job, even a toxic job, even though your life will be much better after. There is a lot of fear, and the fear can keep you stuck there for a long time. I know for me, it kept me there much longer than I wanted to be there. And, my only regret about resigning from the toxic job is that I didn't resign sooner. And most of the guests, and I would say all of the guests, honestly, that I've had on my YouTube channel, and I have over 200 videos, all of the guests have talked about who've left a toxic job have talked about they don't regret it at all. They are living well. So again, when I'm saying to you, when you hear these videos, I am not just telling you, girl, just leave and whatever happens, just leave. I understand that we need to have jobs. We need to make money. I understand that. So I'm not telling you to do that. I'm saying to you, be honest with yourself, check in with yourself, see if you are playing these mind games on yourself. Are you playing yourself? And if that is the case, then start doing what you need to do to start getting out. Okay? So not just flying out and just be like, "Okay, I'm gonna be okay." No, what can you pivot to so that you'll be able to make a living, so you'll be able to have money to pay your bills and to survive and hopefully to thrive? So I'm talking about exit planning. So my videos, I've talked a lot about exit planning. So if you need support with that, check out my other videos that I have talking about it, and then the other resources that I have in the description section of this video. So check those out. There's other resources available to you outside of this channel, outside of what I offer. So Colette Elizabeth talks about this, Marissa Price talks about it. So access all the resources that you can to get out. Because again, when you start trying to convince yourself of staying in a toxic job that's harming you, you are playing yourself. It's a mind game. It's a mind game. And the result is that you are not going to get anything beneficial out of it. So if you think about, well, the benefit is that I have this good job and these good benefits. And again, self reflection. As you're thinking about this good job, and I did a video about this because Stephanie Perry talked about it in one of her videos about, I think it was like Black women deserving ease or something like that. But she made a quote, which I made a reaction video to, and she said, if the job is killing you, then it's not a good job. So even though you may try to convince yourself, well, because of the money, it's a good job because now I live in a nice house, nice apartment, nice condo, I have a nice car, I have nice clothes, I have nice shoes, I have nice purses, all of these things, you know, think about at what cost does that come to you? So if you live in a nice house, but you are miserable all day in your house, or you don't really spend that much time in your house or with other people because you're so consumed with the job, think about that, okay? Also think about when you start having that fear-based response, I can't leave because if I leave, I'll be homeless. If you start doing that, I invite you to think about this, okay? So, and I'm gonna do another video on this too. I've talked about it numerous times, but I'm gonna do a whole video so I can like lay out all the research for you. So you will hear the research, I will put the citation so you can check for yourself in terms of the research saying that Black women disproportionately experience these toxic work environments, that these work environments, in addition to all the racism, sexism, and all the other things that we deal with as Black women, that this can have an impact on our physical and mental health to the point that Black women are now dying at earlier ages and that we're developing cardiovascular diseases earlier. So when you think about that, when you have that fear-based response, I invite you to think about what would you prefer? Would you prefer to potentially lose your life, potentially have a quality of life where it's consumed with dread because of a job? Or do you want to think about, okay, yes, leaving a job is scary. I need to walk through the fear. I know there's going to be fear, but I also know that I will access resources. I also know that I will secure another job or start my own business. I will make money somewhere else. It does not have to be that other job. Okay. So it doesn't have to, in terms of equating, if I leave the job, that means I'm going to be homeless. No, that is not true. That is irrational. That is not true. If you got the job that you have now, you can take those skills, talents somewhere else. Leaving a job does not equate to you're just going to end up homeless. So we need to challenge that. Okay. So we need to challenge that. And so you may need to challenge that, excuse me, in therapy because it might be so ingrained, that fear might be so ingrained. And unfortunately, society reinforces it. And even those around us might reinforce it. People care about us, but they might be fearful because of what we've gone through as a people. That what about resources? Are you going to be able to get something else? Right. So they may project their fears on you and make you feel like you need to convince yourself to stay in a toxic job. So if there's people in your circle who love you, who want to support you, but they might be people in your circle who are speaking about their own fear, they're projecting their own fears onto you, be mindful of, okay, do I want to limit what information I share with them about my process in terms of getting ready to leave the toxic job? So maybe not tell them all the details about it. And can you get a circle of support or at least one person who's able to really hear you and support you and support you in this journey of getting ready to leave a toxic job? Not someone who tells you to stay somewhere and continue to be harmed. I'm talking about someone or group of people who can rally around you and support you and talk to you about other options. Talk to you about, let's think about what else can you pursue. But they will share that information with you. So my hope is that you are surrounding yourself with those people and that you are now more aware of, huh, it looks like I'm trying to convince myself to stay at this toxic job. And if this is happening to you, know that there's resources available to you. So again, the first step is awareness. So if you recognize, I am doing this, I am trying to convince myself to stay at a toxic job, please access resources that will help you walk through that journey because it's often a journey. So part of your journey might be simply watching my YouTube videos. It might be helping you in terms of self-reflection. It may be helping you in terms of seeing me and seeing other Black women who have successfully left toxic jobs and living a bigger, better life after we've left. You may need to see that in terms of confirmation. You may also need to see these videos over and over and over again. So sometimes we watch it and we're like, I don't know, that's that, okay, let me reflect on that. So you might need to watch the videos over and over again, okay? Another thing is that I'm asking you, as you are going through this process, if you know of another Black woman, and more than likely, if you have Black friends, family members, unfortunately, she has experienced at least one toxic job before too, and she might be in it right now. So how can you also help to support her if you notice her also engaging in this behavior of trying to convince herself to stay at a toxic job? Sometimes when we see other people doing it, we are better equipped to see that within ourselves because we can say, wait a minute, why is she trying to stay at that place? And it's horrible, it's harmful, she's not growing. And you might say, wait a minute, I'm doing the same thing. So again, this might be an opportunity for you to self-reflect. And as you self-reflect and you hear about other Black women who might be in similar situations, please support her in terms of say, hey, I'm wondering, are you trying to convince yourself to stay there? Just reflect it back to her because she may not be aware of it. So that's a way that you can help other Black women as well. So I'm trying to help as many Black women as I can. I'm trying to help you. And you can also help other Black women by just asking her that question because that might encourage her to self reflect and that might start her healing journey. So as I'm signing off, please give this video a thumbs up. It lets the YouTube channel know or the YouTube algorithm to know to share this video with other Black women who might be in similar situations. And also, if you have not already subscribed to this channel, please do so. Lifting as we climb consulting wellness services. So again, do not try to convince yourself to stay at a toxic job. You might need to listen to this video in terms of self-reflecting about if you are convincing yourself. And if you are, the ball's in your court in terms of what you want to do. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to self-reflect with you. Okay, so to encourage that self-reflection process. So I'm signing off and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.